I make $150,000 a year as a single income earner. I live paycheck to paycheck. I have no retirement. I have no savings. And it sucks. And I work 24/7. Farm Girl Nerd here has a great quote, though. She says, "You must gain control over your money or the lack of it will forever control you." And I am living proof of this statement. I'm in massive debt. And it was not overnight. It happened over an 11-year span. When I tell you that I live paycheck to paycheck, it is not an exaggeration. This is why budgeting is so important. I was in an abusive relationship for many years and I was controlled. Budgeting feels very controlling to me, when in reality, all it is telling you where to put your dollars. It's interesting because as I'm going through this journey of getting out of debt, the more and more I realize that I am human and I have made mistakes, but I am taking control of those actions. And one day I will control my money. Right now I don't. Every single penny goes to minimum payments and it sucks. And that doesn't even include rent and mortgage. I have the day off work today and I'm outside hustling to pay for life. Budget, people, and actually apply the budget.
Do you know that the majority of clothing at Love Shack Fancy is synthetic fibers? I feel like for the price point of their clothing, a lot of their stuff really should be made out of natural fibers. This dress is $765 for 100% rayon. This sweater could have easily been cotton. This sweater could have easily been cashmere, obviously at different price points, but I would really love to see more natural fibers here. So when you are checking your care label, if you're buying stuff from here, just make sure that you are getting something that is actually quality and not made out of a bunch of synthetic.
How much money do you think you've spent since you started working here?
Like $5,000.
How much money do you think you've spent since working here?
$700. Oh my gosh.
How much money do you think since you started working here?
Like $2,000. Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad.
Men I may not know, but shoes, I know. I have this little expensive footwear. I spent $40,000 on shoes and I have no place to live?
Why I own so many Nintendo Switch consoles.
The Mario-only Switch. I did not realize that there was this many Mario-specific games on the Switch, and we're going to get like 10 more in the next year. The Zelda-only Switch. This is probably my favorite one, honestly.
Just look at that beautiful dock.
The Splatoon-only Switch. Bit of a side note, but this is probably the best-looking Special Edition Nintendo Switch. Just look at these Joy-Con. Beautiful. But it's weird because there's only 2 Splatoon games on Nintendo Switch and like 15 Mario games. They could have made a much cooler looking Nintendo Switch for Mario. The Nintendo Switch that I mostly use because it's for everything else. The one that I got because I wanted at least one type of every Switch, but I literally never use this thing. It's a glorified paperweight. And the day one Switch that is bricked at this point. Yeah, I know the controllers are backwards, but that's because I actually got the gray Switch, and those Joy-Con got drift, so I bought the neon Joy-Con separately, but these also have drift.
A Florida father is going viral after showing just how costly a day trip to Disney World has become.
Before we even got into the park, it cost me $30 just for parking. And even being a Florida resident, tickets for a family of 5 with one child under 10 was still $974. The rest of the family decided they want to go to dinner at downtown Disney Springs. This place was my literal hell, totaling $245.27. The grand total for our day was $1,391.91.
I kind of had a feeling it would go viral. It's very relatable. It's family friendly. I'm a little concerned just on how my generation and the future generations are supposed to buy homes. So how are we supposed to buy a home when minimum homes are $300,000? 20% of $300,000 is $60,000. So for me to have to save up $20,000 just to put down, never mind closing costs and your realtor that you have to pay and all of the other fees that you have to pay, which could be a minimum of like $8,000 to $15,000 for closing costs. I've heard people pay way more. And then what if you want to have a family? What if your girlfriend or your wife gets pregnant and you're like, hey, we should raise this baby. How are you going to afford it? Who's going to watch your baby? So I just want to like think about that for people who are rushing into relationships and rushing to grow up. It is very difficult, not only because you can't afford anything unless you make above 100,000, especially in the New England, you just can't afford to live. Like, you can't even afford to save money. You can't afford to go on vacation. Most of these people are living paycheck to paycheck. So don't rush to move out.
This cost of living crisis is absolute bollocks. Working simply just to survive is bollocks. Working a 9 to 5 is bollocks. Going on one holiday a year and calling that a decent life is bollocks. 28 days holiday a year, 28 days annual leave a year is absolute bollocks. Your rent being half of your wage, it's absolute bollocks. Retiring at 70 if you make it that far, bollocks. Life ain't meant to feel like this, especially not at 25-year-old. I pray someone else feels the same as I do, because what the actual it's utter bollocks. It's all utter bollocks.
What are you spending on groceries a week at the moment? As a family of 5, we're spending, well, actually, I budget about $500 a week, give or take. I do think it probably goes over that most of the time. I was thinking back to when cost of living wasn't so high, food wasn't so high, and $500 a week in food to me was just ridiculous. But it is the way that things are now. And as a family of 5, you honestly cannot do it for any less. Well, I can't. Can you? Like, how is this affecting you? Like, it's huge, right? We have to be earning a decent amount of money to be able to spend that much money on food, let alone all the other expenses that we have. It's such a crazy time. Every time I go to the supermarket, things are just going up every week. Do you notice that? Because, you know, you're buying the same things. So you tend to know what you're supposed to pay for it. And then the next time you go and you're like, hang on, this is up $1 more than what I paid last week. What is going on here? It's insane. And it's just getting worse. Do you guys like worry that it's just going to keep getting worse and worse? That this is just how it is, or things are just going to keep going up? Something's got to change, right? Families are suffering, and that's what is so hard. It's so hard to see. You know, between my husband and I, we work full time. We have to. We earn decent money, but we have nothing left over. Like, everything gets eaten up. And it's such a shame, because I remember, you know, back in the day, the money that we are on now, we would actually be able to save and have decent holidays overseas. But no, it all gets eaten up pretty quickly, right?
The cost of living crisis is not a crisis. To me, it's just the cost of living. Because for the rest of our lives, are we going to be like the cost of living crisis? Like, I understand post-COVID and those things when it was a bit of a cost of living crisis because of all the printed money that was happening, all the handouts. But now this is just the cost of living. Like, I don't believe it's going to get any better. This is the new norm. To me, I can't see a possibility or a world where prices go down. Like, it just isn't going to happen. So what are your thoughts? Do you think the cost of living crisis is still a crisis, or do you think it's just the cost of living, this is life now?
It's so high. Insurance is through the roof, groceries, your gas, all of your basic expenses, everything is just kind of eating away at all of your paycheck. And there's not much left behind anymore. And it's not necessarily because people aren't budgeting or because they need to work harder. It's just so expensive. There does come a point where it is really difficult to keep up with all of the expenses. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's a system that is squeezing out the ordinary people, and billionaires are getting bailouts. And even though sometimes it feels like we just can't cut back enough, there are certain things that a lot of times we can still do. And that's what I like to encourage people with. So basically starting with, tracking all of your dollars, tracking your money, really sitting down and seeing where your money is going every month and figuring out, are there ways that we can reduce that / unnecessary reoccurring expenses? So any kind of memberships or things that are just taking money from you that you don't necessarily need, I would slash that right away. Netflix, the gym, any other kind of membership. If you don't need it, just get rid of it. Cooking more at home is another huge one. Not eating out. Everything is so expensive nowadays. I mean, you can go to a fast food restaurant and you're paying restaurant prices, like sit down at a restaurant type of pricing. And it's ridiculous. There is absolutely no reason why two people should have to go to a fast food establishment and pay $25 for two simple things. I mean, that just really goes to show you how far we've come. And I'm a huge proponent of downsizing. So downsizing your vehicle, don't get the fancy cell phone, the new cell phone, have a smaller house, a cheaper rent. You need to downsize. That way you can have more breathing room. Usually there's always something that we can downsize with. It's just a matter of being willing to do so. And then I'm a huge advocate of building up some type of side hustle, whether it's some type of landscaping, babysitting, selling a product on an online platform like Etsy, or selling things on Facebook Marketplace. That's a really great one. Or you could be flipping items like flipping cars or flipping couches. You can sell old clothing. There's so many different things that people can do to try and make some extra money. And little by little, it does add up. Also, when you are grocery shopping, stock up on deals when you do find them. So if you find items that are on sale, they're a good deal right now, get some extra of those items because the prices are going to keep going up. So you can get some savings there. Also, try and do more things yourself. If it's like basic car maintenance, any types of things that maybe need to be repaired, even just taking care of your own pest control, different things that it's common for a lot of people to just outsource. Try and do those things yourself if you can. And then you have to work hard at staying mentally tough. The world can make people feel broken and hopeless, but we need to stay focused, stay hopeful, stay connected, and just know that all we can do is keep doing the best that we can and trying to push for better. So I hope that's encouraging to you. Let me know any of your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Take care.
Close. Gotta have it, please.
Now say what you just said again.
Huh?
Say what you said again. Because we're going to get all this on tape. Say what you said.
If we were married, you got this amazing credit score, right?
800.
Okay. And
this is what poverty does to your brain. Listen to this. Go ahead.
No, we're not doing this. Cut it off.
Now you don't want to talk. You was talking so confidently a minute ago.
How was that? No, because they're going to say, oh, that's the girl.
They don't know who you are. You ain't on the camera. So go ahead and say what you was going to say. Say what you just said a minute ago.
Okay, you got this amazing credit score, right?
I got an 800 credit score, and I worked very hard, and my mama helped me get that credit score. She paid my car.
Now, say if your wife wanted to die for a purse, that's $2,000.
But there ain't no purse on planet Earth worth dying for, but go ahead. That's $2,000.
You gonna die if you buy me that bad?
No, that's not the point. It ain't no purse on planet Earth that important.
I said to die for. Like it's not something that you would get me like every year. Chuck, give me a purse every year. No, it's something that I'm in love with. Maybe it's Mother's Day coming up. Maybe it's my birthday coming up. Maybe it's Christmas.
Okay.
You can't get that for me?
So you want me to use my 800 credit score to get a purse, to go in debt to buy a purse?
You're going to be in debt. You're going to be in debt if you get that purse.
What was the point of bringing up my credit score?
Because you can go and swipe for it.
Right. So that's what poverty does to people's brains right there. You want me to, if I don't have $2,000 in my bank account, why would I go and buy a $2,000 object on a credit card? That's what most people in America do. That's why most people in America is poor.
You want to be for real? You have a Bitcoin, right?
Why would I sell?
I didn't say for you to sell your Bitcoin. Don't act like you're poor. You're not poor.
Okay. Go ahead. So what does that got to do?
You have a good job.
Okay. What does that got to do with anything?
You can get me a nice purse.
Why would I go into debt to buy a nice purse?
You're not going to be in debt. You have great credit. How are you going into debt?
This is poverty. This is what poverty does to you. So if you
maybe I don't know.
If you use a credit card, that is money that was created out of thin air. So if I don't have $2,000 in my bank account, therefore, if I spend $2,000 on a credit card, I don't have it in my bank account. I'm just spent money that I don't have. So
you do have money in your bank account.
But why would I put it on a credit card then? What's the point of bringing up my credit score then?
Because credit, you're making monthly payments.
Why would See, and this is what poverty does to you, right? This is what they tell you in America. This is why all the credit cards sell up. This is why all the credit card companies make a whole bunch of money. So when you buy stuff on the credit card, they charge you interest on it. Therefore, you have to pay more than the $2,000. If you only pay the minimum payment, you're gonna pay a fee on top of that. That's how the credit card company makes their money. That's why people spend so much on a credit card and they never get out of debt. Because they're paying more than what the item is worth. So if I make payments on it, let's say I make 4 payments of $500, I'm getting charged $50 in interest. So that mean I just paid $2,500 for a $2,000 bag just to put it on the credit card because I didn't have money.
No, we gotta watch this on YouTube or something. I don't believe it.
That is why this is what poverty does to y'all brains right here. This is what poverty does. This is what they don't teach people in school. All this shit I had to learn on my own. They don't teach none of this shit in school because why? They want to keep people enslaved like this. And she don't know no better. And a lot of y'all out there don't know no better. And that's what they want. They want you not to have no knowledge. There's millions of people just like this that don't know nothing about the American financial system.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's right. You just paid girls do this all the time. I knew a girl that put an MCM bag on payments. And I'm just like, you paying more than what the bag is worth, right? The bag don't go up in value. You mentioned my Bitcoin. So let's say I sold my Bitcoin that goes up in value to buy a purse that goes down in value.
To sell it. I know that's not your plan.
But what I'm saying, why did you
You're trying to sit here and act like you have nothing.
It doesn't matter. I don't value material objects. It don't mean shit to me. It's just a material object. That bag is only worth money because you and your brain have made it up that it's worth something. You know how much it costs Louis Vuitton to make a bag? Fucking $50. And you go out and people go out and pay $10,000 for a bag that costs them $50 to make.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example though.
Give me an example.
I got a bag. I'm not gonna say who it's from. I got a bag 10 years ago. Guess what? I still have that bag.
Mm-hmm. And whatever you paid for it 10 years ago is not worth that today.
Yeah, but I want to keep this for the rest of my life. That was a special bag that I wanted, and I don't go constantly getting bags.
That's cool. What does that got to do with
What if we got married and I just got a bag every 5 years? Is that going to kill you? You get where I'm going with this? I didn't say I want to constantly get a bag.
The thing is, why do you want the bag in the first place? It's just a fucking bag.
Oh my God.
And why would I use my credit to buy the bag? That's crazy.
However okay, whatever.
I'm just saying, you brought up the credit score. If I just could pay the cash for it, which I could, like why?
Okay, excuse me.
But why would I? Why would I save my $2,000 to give you for a fucking bag?
I told you one of this is just 5 years don't went by. Oh, well, I got that bag for Naomi 5 years ago.
Call me in 5 years and I'll get you a bag.
No, I'm saying if we are married and I see a bag I want.
Okay.
Not 5 years don't went down. I ain't asked you for no bag. That's a great wife.
Sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so that's what I said.
So you found that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that ain't what you said in the beginning, though.
No, that's what I meant. I said to die for. I hardly see designer bags that's to die for. Like, hardly ever.
Ain't none of them to die for. They all is $50. Just like these damn shoes.
Really, I'll go get one that will go with every style of my outfit.
It costs Nike $20 to make these shoes. I bought these at the outlet, granted, for like $80. But
I have my shoes forever too.
Right. So people paid $150 of these for these brand new. I bought them from the outlet for $80, but it cost Nike $20 to make these shoes, and we pay $80 for them. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They Louis Vuitton shit. Man, that shit cost them $50. They got little kids in sweatshops making them bags. And people go out and pay $2,000 for them. Because it say Louis Vuitton on it. You don't even know that nigga. You ain't never met that nigga a day in your life. You so thirsty to buy this bag. I don't know.